Be careful what you wish for. You might get it. There is no better historical illustration of the truth of this proverb than the story of Henry VIII and his doomed second wife, Anne Boleyn. Okay, now, from our present modern vantage point, it does look kind of awful, his concern with a male heir. But in his time period, it was valid. The last time there had not been a clear male heir to the throne, it had led to the War of the Roses. So he definitely wanted a legitimate male heir. And it was responsible to want that during his time period. And of course, what does he get with Catherine of Aragon, his first wife? Pregnancy after pregnancy ends in miscarriage, stillbirths, one boy who dies after 6 weeks, and the only surviving child is, of course, a daughter, Mary. Okay, and then, Anne Boleyn holds out. She won't become his mistress like her sister, Mary Boleyn, did, or like Bessie Blount did and others. She holds out and becomes his wife, the Queen of England. But in order to do that, of course, he not only has to annul the marriage to Catherine of Aragon, he has to break with the Pope and found his own church. Basically, he has to kind of plunge his country into turmoil between those who support the king and those who support the Pope. He had to do quite a bit. He had to move heaven and earth, literally, to get Anne Boleyn. She couldn't live up to it. How could she? She was just a woman. And then, of course, but she gets pregnant. Finally, he's going to have a legitimate boy child. And then she gives birth. Another girl! Okay. And then his eye gets taken by Mr. Seymour. But still, Queen Anne has a chance. She's going to have another baby. And the baby turns out to be a boy. Except she miscarries too early for the baby to live. As someone said, she miscarried of her Savior. After he had done so much to get her, and she had disappointed him so badly, he couldn't do what he did with Catherine of Aragon and just annul the marriage. He couldn't just send her away to a nunnery. He had to execute her, and he had to find grounds to execute her that would really smear her in the eyes of the English public. I mean, she had held off the King of England for years, and he has her having sex with 5 different men, including her own brother. But see, that was to basically give her the worst possible reputation in the eyes of the general public. Okay, so he has these charges called up and she gets her head cut off. Poor Anne Boleyn. But again, be careful what you wish for. You may get it. And sometimes it can be a disappointment. And sometimes it can be a big disappointment. Of course, old Henry finally did get his boy child. a pretty steep price. Mistress Jane Seymour died just shortly after giving birth to the longed-for male heir, who would end up dying when he was 16 years old. I think he was 16 years old, died very young. And so history is full of ironies. And, you know, even the boy child that he finally got, legitimate male heir, didn't work out all that great. But I just wanted to point out that this is a true illustration of that proverb, be careful what you wish for, you may get it.